So, I'm standing in line at the movies, right? It's a regular Friday night, and I'm just trying to catch the latest superhero flick to unwind after a long week. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a confrontational guy. I'm more of a live and let live type, just cruising through life. Anyway, I'm queuing up minding my own business when suddenly I feel a solid thump against my back. I turn around thinking maybe someone stumbled or something. Lo and behold, there's this lady, mid-40s, with that classic I want to speak to the manager haircut. You know the one. She's glaring at me like I kicked her cat or something. I'm a bit confused, wondering what just happened when she starts going off on me like I insulted her ancestors or whatever. Apparently, I accidentally stepped on her foot. My bad, right? I didn't do it on purpose. I'm like, sorry about that. Didn't mean to step on your toes, literally. I'm trying to keep it light, diffuse the situation, you know? But no, Karen ain't having it. She goes full berserker mode and, I kid you not, punches me in the back. Now, I've seen my fair share of crazy, but getting socked in the spine at the cinema ticket line. That's a new one. People around us start looking, and this lady is still raging like a bull in a china shop. I'm just standing there bewildered, holding my popcorn like it's some kind of peace offering. Security comes rushing over because at this point, Karen is causing a scene that could rival any blockbuster. I'm thinking great, I just wanted to see a movie, not star in one. Security tries to reason with her, but Karen is on a whole different level of entitlement. She's going off about how she deserves VIP treatment and whatnot. It's like she's auditioning for a role in a soap opera. Finally, the manager shows up looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. He assesses the situation, listens to Karen's dramatic rendition of the Footstepping saga, then turns to me with this tired expression. Manager, did she hit you? I nod like, what else do you call a punch to the back? Then, manager dude tells security to escort Karen out. She's screaming about how she'll never set foot in the cinema again, and honestly, I think everyone in line would be perfectly okay with that. So, there I am, left with a sore back, a cold bucket of popcorn, and a front row seat to the weirdest pre-movie entertainment ever. Once the chaos settles, I finally get my ticket, and as I walk into the theater, the whole line gives me a little round of applause. I'm feeling like some accidental hero who saved the day from the wrath of Karen. I worked in a few places currently in a cafe, and I do volunteering in some charity shops. So I do deal with a lot of entitled people almost daily due to my workaholic lifestyle where I constantly want to be doing something. Some small things which are annoying but are happen quite often is in charity shops where people try to use blue light cards in charity shops when we don't accept them. I get it, you do a good job that helps people but often doesn't pay well. But everything we sell is extremely cheap. We had a lady try to buy Dr. Martens, which we were selling for £6.99, and she tried to use a blue light card. I explained to her that we don't accept blue light cards here. Usually the woman would let out that loud sigh to make it clear she is annoyed with you or make a comment about how ridiculous that is. But no, she instead said along the lines you do accept it, every shop does. Which is not true. Not every shop accepts it, which I did calmly explain to her, and after around 5 minutes of going back and forth, she finally stopped arguing and paid for the shoot. Another small thing, which is annoying that does not happen that often, but often enough that I can say confidently it happens at least twice a week, is when a person, usually a man, comes into the cafe I work at and orders multiple things of the menu and complains when it takes too long. I'm sorry, but ordering a stack of 5 pancakes, 2 chicken wraps, 2 large Cokesies, several waffles, hash brown sausages, baked beans on toast, and black pudding does not take 2 minutes. These are annoying and I could name even more that annoys me. But I can deal with those easily, and they don't bother me too long. Usually once the person leaves the cafe or shop, I practically calm down instantly. But what happened today? That is what made me want to quit working completely. I didn't though. It starts off as a normal day. Actually, better than a normal day as we had a calm day. Not many people and just small families with teenagers, so we don't have to deal with messy tables or little children running around or yelling. But a large family came in. There was a total of 8 children, I would say. The youngest was around 4, and the oldest was around 7. Clearly wasn't all their children, perhaps a small party, though I doubt it was. They asked for a table for 20. There was only 9 of them, so it was a little confusing, and I explained that we don't have tables big enough for a table of 20, but we have a table that can fit 15 if they want that one instead. That table usually is booked, but wasn't today, and I wish it was, as they might have went to another cafe and bothered someone else. It was lucky for them, but not for me, the other waitress and our chef. It took around 15 minutes to get all the kids to the table. The parents were not helping, and usually if kids are running around, we do not do anything, but these kids were climbing everywhere. Some of these 6-year-olds almost made it into the kitchen if it wasn't for the EM for yelling at them that they can't go in the kitchen as they might end up poking an eye out. Bear in mind, we don't have anything around these 6-year-olds' eye level that would poke an eye out, but we do have a lot of boiling water, knives, and extremely hot stoves, so the whole kitchen is quite dangerous in my opinion for a bunch of 6-year-olds. But that is all the parents did to try and control these kids, and when I asked, "Do you mind calling your children to the table as they are causing a disturbance in the cafe?" their response was, "There isn't anyone else here. They're fine. If you have such an issue with it, you go get them back to the table." I generally was shocked at this. My coworker, who we can call Jess, was on her break, but she was kind enough to end her break early to help me get all these kids to the table. I am so thankful for that. As well as I am not good with kids, I only managed to get 2 of the kids back to the table, and she managed to get the rest back with ease. And once we got the last kid back, the who had dirt on their face as he was digging up the plants. These EP had the audacity to say to us, "Took you long enough." We do have a strict boss who wasn't in yet, so we didn't want to kick them out before our boss could actually see what was happening, as he would be on the customer side before even checking the security footage and checking with us to see what actually happened. So we just tried our best to bottle up how we were feeling and hoped our boss, we can call him Ross, not his real name, same as Jess is not the real name of my coworker, would come back in time to actually deal with them. According to Jess, as she worked here longer than me, she said that we only had one person kicked out and banned from the cafe. And they weren't as worse as these people, so that got my hopes up that I will never have to deal with these people again. Now let's skip a few minutes to when the ED whistled me over like a dog. I did make a comment at this saying, "Please don't whistle at me to get my attention. You can call my name Thea." He scoffed at this and then proceeded to say their order. It was a large order, but expected for a large group and wasn't as bad as I expected. I thought it would be more as they were being so rude, but I tried thinking positively that perhaps they had a bad day and they are just overwhelmed with all these kids. Now this order had a lot, so Jess helped out the she, who we can call Eric. Jess isn't the best cook, but she only did the easy things like boiling the eggs for him or making the toast whilst he made the pancakes and waffles. During this time, I tried sitting at one of the booths, not close to them, but I could see their whole table and I did keep a close eye on them. I thought this was a smart idea, and it would have been if they didn't need something every 5 seconds. How long will it take? Are you allowed to be sitting down during your work? We want a new cup. They're too small. There isn't enough ice in my water. We want new cutlery. These are dirty. I can confirm they were not dirty, and they didn't even notice that I just gave them the same cutlery back to them as I knew they were clean. And before says that they might have dropped it or something, I had my eye on them the whole time to make sure they didn't cause any chaos in the cutlery they wanted to change. Only the EP's cutlery were the only ones left untouched. Does the pancake have eggs in it? They asked out of curiosity, not even for allergies or dietary reasons. Do you have a spare hairband? Mine broke. Oh, wait, I got one in bag. Never mind. And this was annoying, and I felt as if they knew what they were doing, as once I sat down every time they would call me over Thea. And that annoying teacher's voice made me want to rip my ears off. But I kept calm, answered all their questions with a smile on my face. Now here in the UK, we don't get tipped as nicely as Americans. Quite often, I don't even get tipped, so I did this expecting perhaps a small tip for dealing with them. It took around half an hour to get all their food at. We wanted to make sure it all comes out at the same time, and it was all warm, but the eggs and toast for the parents were finished quicker than expected. So they came out 5 minutes earlier than the rest of the food. This is where the chaos everyone loves happens. Mom, where's the rest of the food? Me, oh, they're about to be right out. Mom, how long? Exact time, we aren't mind readers. And she has that dirty smile that make you feel so angry as you can tell that they aren't being nice at all. Me, it should just be 5 minutes. I try laughing it off as usually it works with the rude people I serve. Dad, why is it taking so long? We have been here for hours and you want us to wait even longer. Me, the tickets say the time that they were printed. I know you have been waiting for around 30 minutes, but that is expected to make 4 deluxe 5 stacked pancakes and 3 deluxe waffles. And you did request for all the food to come out at the same time. We did try to time it, but your 2 meals just finished quicker than expected, so we didn't want it to get cold. I did expect them to interrupt me, but they actually let me say all of this, so I thought they might have understood that we were doing our job best as possible and didn't want to serve them cold food. Mom, you are a chef and you don't know how long it takes to boil an egg. Pathetic. Me, now a little annoyed, but still trying to be nice. I'm not the chef, and he just made one small mistake and we are so sorry about it. I'm not sorry at all. Dad, you seem very sorry with that attitude. Me, I'm sorry. If I gave an attitude, I just had a long day. I've not had a long day, but I need to stay calm as I know my boss will be back soon, and if I were to yell at them like I wanted to, I just know he would walk in and fire me on the spot. Mom, we also had a hard day, but you don't see us being witchy. Dad, just get the pancakes out now. Me, I will go see if they are done now. I can hear them snicker and talking about me being incompetent and unable to do simple tasks, but I started to feel as if luck was on my side as once I get into the kitchen, I see Ross entering from the back at the same time as me. I explain everything quick as possible. The pancakes were almost done. They just was plating it all up. He was very understanding and told me to stay at the counter at the front and serve any new customers, and he will serve this family. So this is everything I heard and saw. He serves the family. I can see them complain and heard them talk even more crap about me saying how she is so bad they replaced her already. Now, I could see Ross getting annoyed, but he was doing his job. He didn't put on his manager badge and instead had another coworker's badge on, so I realized he was pretending to be a normal employee so they wouldn't start acting differently as he owns the cafe. When the food all gets there, the kids were extremely messy, even wiping their dirty hand from all the ice cream and chocolate sauce on the chairs. Now, these chairs had fabric on them and can be easy to stain if left dirty. I saw the parents laughing at this and not telling them off, not even saying anything to the kids. Then I saw the kids starting to get up and run around again. Now Ross already knows how bad they were when they first were running around, and now they are covered in food, so you can assume it is worse. Before I go to stop them, Ross tells me that's my table now. I'll deal with it. So he goes over to the parents and tells them, tell your children to sit down. They are making a mess. And he got the same responses they gave me. This is when he says, I'll get your bill. I heard some arguing. Apparently they didn't want to pay yet or leave, so he explains how they are being kicked out as their behavior is making the cafe a mess and making people not wanting to come into the cafe. Now this felt like something out of one of these stories when they said, you can't kick us out. You're not the manager. And I saw his smirk. I am the manager. You are being kicked out, and if you don't leave, you will be banned from ever eating here again. Me and Jess loved this. If we had popcorn, it would have been perfect. They refused to leave for a few minutes but did pay, and when they were leaving, he yelled out, you are banned! Forever, never come back here, you jerks! And this father turned around so quickly and yelled, we have children, don't swear in front of them. This is where I cut in and say, you were swearing in front of them earlier. Now Ross did tell me off for this comment, but not in front of them as he didn't want to make them feel as if they were in the right, as they weren't. But they did argue with Ross for a bit, and this I will just summarize it for you. They didn't want to leave, wanted a refund for bad services. Ross saying they paid for the food and did not tip, and since they ate all the food they won't get a refund. This repeats until he threatens to call the police, so they leave. Now he didn't check the security footage, but he said judging from their behavior, he knew what we said was the truth, which was nice to hear.